Hello, my name is Jessica Finley, and I'm a family counselor for Alberta Health Services Pregnancy and Infant Loss Program. Parents say leaving the hospital after the death of their baby is one of the hardest things they have to do. In this video, parents share their experiences of leaving the hospital and what helped them.
I remember the next morning as we were going home, it was just the night before the appointment. It was a Thursday that we went to the appointment, and the Wednesday night I had put the child seat in the car, in the back seat. And on the Friday we were going home, and I came down to get the car I was going to pick up. It's been from the front, and I looked in the back, and the baby seat's there, right? And the first thing I did was just take the seat out. It's just these reminders everywhere, right? And even as you leave the hospital, and we're on the maternity ward, and even at that night, as I walk around the hospital, there's other dads I'm running into, and they're all smiling at each other, and they're all kind of waiting in the waiting room, and all excited and happy, and they look at me, and I'm not on that level where they are, obviously. And that next morning, as you come out and you leave and you see and you hear babies crying, you hear babies being born, and it's come down the elevator. I still remember, you come down the elevator, there's people with their babies, and you're leaving without yours. It's funny because you walk in and the house felt empty. It just felt empty. It just didn't feel right to come home that way. And I think we both started crying as we walked in. It was just, as soon as you open the door and you walk in, it was just, the house didn't feel right.
I stayed in the hospital for 1 week, and then we were sent home. But that was the hardest part, because when we left the home, it was 4 of us. Now we're going back home, just the 2. And I remember he left me at the front to go get the car to come around. And here was a lady that just had a baby waiting at the front too. And at that time I looked at it and I said, why? Why does she get to go home with hers? And I don't get to go home with mine.
I want to go home as soon as possible. I know it's hard. It's so empty. My womb is empty, and then my hand is empty. They give me a sub bear. That's all I got, and then the box. So it's still so sad. It's not what I'm looking for, right? But that's all we have. It's hard to leave the hospital, but I just don't want to stay any more longer and remind me. So leaving the hospital sometimes is say goodbye, or you never want to see him again or see he or she again. Maybe that's your chance. But there's no wrong choice. That's the only choice you made in that time. That would be the best for you.
I think before we got home,
my brother had come by, and he moved some of the stuff out
from our bedroom, just to.
We had like the baby's room set up with the crib and all, and then my mom always wanted to get one of those old-fashioned cradles, those wood ones, so she had ordered one, and my brother came and he moved that out. And I just remember we shut that door, and I don't think it took like a year to open it. Well, the nice thing about him was he would just come every day, and he wouldn't say anything, and he would just sit with us, and which was really nice, because I felt like what Bobby said, you don't really know what to say. There is no right answer. And it's just best if you don't say anything and you're just there for the person. And for me especially, it was I don't want to talk about it unless if I bring it up. Unless if I want to sit there and talk about it. Otherwise don't bring it up with me. And so I really appreciated that about him, about my parents in general. They would just come, and they would just be there for us.
on the other side of that, I remember that when I did meet the counselor next morning, you know, the part of the correspondence that they give you is one of these sheets that said all the ridiculous things people will say, and they say them, right? And we heard all of them. So once again, I don't think we were looking at getting mad at it necessarily, and people are trying to say the right thing. I don't think they're trying to. But it's just you don't want to hear it at that time, right? And you hit. And I remember reading that list that morning, and I think within the next couple of days, you pretty much heard all of them. And you'll have another. You're young. It's God's way, or whatever people were saying. It was just like you don't want to hear it, but. And that Jasmine said is something. Just sit there and don't say anything. It's probably the best thing, and that was the best thing. If people would just, if you had that. Instead of trying to explain it away.
Because there is no right thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter what anyone says, the pain's not going to get less. They're not going to be able to take it away.
I think one of the things I would say is try and be honest with your friends and family that are, around you, that are, meant to be your support network. But I've tried to be as honest as I can with, like, the periods of where I just can't have them talking to me, which was right after. And then, I've had moments where I've had to remind them that like on Mother's Day, like vast majority of them didn't remember. And I kind of had to take a step back and realize like I need to remind them that like, hey, like, you know what I would really love? I'd love to be acknowledged as well. And I think like it's not that any of them did it purposely. They just didn't, because I'm not the stereotypical mother with like a baby in her arms. I think it's not feeling like you have to feel or one certain way. And then I think it's trying to be honest with your family if you're open to it. Because that's what I found in the beginning. Your friends and family, none of mine have ever gone through this. None have been through fertility treatments. None have been through a miscarriage. So they had no clue. They're like, I don't even know what to do. So I think trying to actually tell them like what you need if you know what it is and can verbalize it.
Most parents find it difficult leaving the hospital without their baby. We hope that hearing other parents share their story about this difficult time will help you prepare for returning home. Remember that your healthcare team is there to support you. You can find out more about pregnancy and infant loss by going to MyHealth.Alberta.ca and searching for a program in your area.